Hey guys, it's Keeley, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite movies that came out in 2016. I don't talk about movies and TV shows a lot on my channel, but if you don't know, I am completely obsessed with movies and TV shows like I am with books. Maybe not as much, but I'm still extremely obsessed with them, and I watch a ton of movies and go to a ton of like premieres of the movies and stuff, and so I have quite a list to show you, so I'm just going to talk about them, and maybe you'll find something on here that interests you and you'll want to watch it. And I just need to talk about my favorite movies of this year because so many good ones came out, so let's get on into it. The first movie I want to talk about is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Now this is a book to movie adaptation if you don't know, and it's like one of my favorite books and now one of my favorite films ever. It is so good. If you don't know, it follows this boy named Jacob who grew up hearing his grandfather's stories about this home that he used to live in where children had peculiar talents and abilities, and he, like, when he started getting older, people were like, oh, like, those aren't real, those are just stories. But then something very tragic happens to his grandfather, and Jacob decides to go to this island to go see the school that his grandfather is talking about. And so he just meets all sorts of people, goes on all sorts of adventures, and it is so fantastic. To me, okay, there are some changes from the book to the movie, but I feel like they were necessary to move the story along on screen. And let me just tell you, I am obsessed with Asa Butterfield. Like, if he ran into me, I would ask him on a date because I love him so much. Also, we would make a beautiful couple, just saying. But anyway, this was a fantastic film and I definitely recommend it. This next film I have to talk about is something that I saw recently, and that is Passengers. And this film, oh my gosh, it kept me on the edge of my seat. Like, I could not predict what would happen next. It has Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt in it, which are two of my favorite people in Hollywood right now, and I just need more movies with them in it. If you don't know, this is a sci-fi movie about these people who are traveling from Earth to this second planet called Homestead 2, and it takes about 120 years, I think, to get there. And one day, this man, Chris Pratt's character, wakes up and he realizes he's the only one on the ship that's awake, and then he finds out that he woke up 90 years too soon. So it just takes off from there, and then stuff starts happening and people's lives are at stake, and it is so good. And it was really nice to see Chris Pratt in a more dramatic film. Like, there's still some funny parts, of course there's always going to be funny parts with Chris Pratt, but it was nice to see him in a dramatic film, and it really shows his acting abilities. And of course, Jennifer Lawrence was fabulous as always. Now, this would not be a favorite movies list without Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I was so ecstatic for this movie to come out this year, and oh my gosh, it blew my expectations out of the water. Newt Scamander is one of my favorite characters of all time now, and I am so happy that Eddie Redmayne plays Newt Scamander, because Eddie is the most precious person in the entire world who needs to be protected at all costs. It is so amazing. And for some reason, if you have not heard of Fantastic Beasts, first of all, where have you been? Second of all, you must not be a Harry Potter fan, because this is in the Harry Potter world, but it takes place before Harry Potter and all that, set in the 20s, but this time it's in the United States. And it was just so incredible seeing all of the beasts that we've read about in Harry Potter, because you don't see too much of the Fantastic Beasts in the Harry Potter series, but this one is about the beasts and like what can go wrong with certain magical aspects. And oh my gosh, I am just so blown away by this cast because they are absolutely amazing. And like I said, Eddie Redmayne is one of my absolute favorites now, and I just can't get over him. This next movie came out earlier this year, and that is Captain America: Civil War. I am a huge Marvel fan, so I will watch pretty much any Marvel movie ever, like the day it comes out. I love Marvel. And this movie did not disappoint at all, but it seriously broke my heart seeing Tony Stark and Captain America on two different sides. Oh my goodness, it seriously broke me, and I can't wait for the next movie in the Captain America trilogy or series, because I need them to be friends again and just hug and make up, because Oh man, it was so good. And all of the other Avengers that we saw in there, minus Thor and Hulk. I'm a little bitter about the whole Thor thing because he is my favorite superhero. But anyway, it was so neat seeing the new Spider-Man because that just made me even more excited for the new Spider-Man, because the new actor, Tom Holland, he might be my favorite Spider-Man yet, and I can't wait to see him in his own movie. This next movie is the first animated film on this list, and that is Zootopia. It is so adorable and cute, and I just love movies where animals are the main characters and animals talk and walk and act like humans. I love movies like that. And in this movie, it follows this bunny rabbit who wants to become a police officer, and no one has ever heard of a bunny rabbit as a police officer. It's always the big, bad, tough animals, but she makes it through and she's one of the best. But then nobody thinks that great of her because she is a bunny rabbit, so she's just put on parking ticket duty. But then this crime breaks out and she is the one that gets on the case because no one else wants to do it. No one else believes that there's an actual crime going on, and she's just incredible. This was one of my favorite characters. She was incredible. Oh my gosh, this movie was hilarious too, and just so cute. And the friendship that developed in this, oh my gosh, I just love it so much, and it just made me so happy. Another one of my favorite animated films I saw this year was The Secret Life of Pets. This one was just so cute, and Gidget, the little white dog in the movie, I have pretty much never related to a character more than I relate to her. She is hilarious and I absolutely love her. This one follows a bunch of different pets and what their life is like when their owners are not around. It is just so fun, and it is action-packed for an animated movie, and it's just like, what's gonna happen next? It's just so cute, and all of the little comedy aspects in it are so much fun, and I just seriously recommend this movie so much because it is just great, and once again it just made me so happy and I just love it. This next movie, just thinking about it, my heart is like shattering into a million pieces in a good way, and that is Rogue One, which is another Star Wars story. I love Star Wars so much. I'm obsessed with it, and this one is between episodes, between the prequels and the new ones where Darth Vader is still a thing. Darth Vader's my favorite character, so I was very excited for this storyline, and it's just basically about how the rebels got the plans for the Death Star, and oh my goodness, it was so good, so action-packed, and you get so attached to the characters, and then this movie just like rips your heart apart, and the very last scene in this movie, oh my goodness, it just does all sorts of things to my emotions because it just ended perfectly. And after I watched this movie, it was one of those where I just wanted to go rewatch the entire original trilogy because it just put me in that Star Wars mood, and it was such a good story, and it just makes all the empty pieces fit together perfectly, and it's so great. This next movie is Finding Dory, which is a sequel we have been waiting for so long. This is the sequel to Finding Nemo, and it's about Dory and what happened and how she found Marlin and Nemo and how she got lost. And let me just tell you, baby Dory was the most adorable thing I have ever seen in my entire life. It was so good. Honestly, Finding Dory might be a little better than Finding Nemo in my opinion. I absolutely love this movie. Another great movie I saw this year was The Jungle Book. This one really took me by surprise. I, to be honest, have not seen the original Jungle Book, but this one seemed really interesting to me because it was like not animated and it was a real person and all the CGI animals, and it really astounded me how well the kid actor in this movie was, because basically he didn't act with any humans. All of these were CGI animals, and it is hard enough to find a good actor, like a good kid actor, but he was so amazing. His talent blew me away because he did all of this acting basically by himself, because I'm sure there were like voice actors there like talking to him, but like CGI and just this boy, and he just did fantastic. I definitely recommend this movie because this kid's acting skills are crazy, and I can't wait to see what he does next. This next movie is yet another Marvel movie, and that is Doctor Strange, and this one really, really took me by surprise. Of course, I was going to go see it because it was Marvel, but it wasn't one of those that I immediately felt an attachment to. And so when I saw this, my expectations were completely blown away. The main actor in this is Benedict Cumberbatch, which I love him. He is so good, and it's just about this guy who is this brilliant surgeon, and then something happens to his hands. And so, you know, when you're a surgeon and something happens to your hands, you can't really do your job anymore. And so he decides to go on this trek to find this magical healing place that has healed someone before, and then craziness ensues. This was really intense. I knew nothing about Doctor Strange before I saw this movie, so everything that I got out of this movie was completely new information, and it was just so action-packed and intense, and if you're a fan of Marvel, definitely go watch it. This next movie is another Marvel movie, and that is XMen Apocalypse. The X-Men world is my favorite thing in Marvel. I am completely obsessed with X-Men. Like, when I first started watching it, I went and Googled different mutations to see if I was a mutant of any kind, because I was so obsessed with this movie. But anyway, it's just another one of the X-Men movies, you know, mutant and proud, that type of stuff. I absolutely loved it. Jennifer Lawrence is in it, so I mean, that's a plus. I just love every actor that's in this movie, and I just really can't say much about it, but it was amazing. And if you're a fan of Marvel or X-Men, definitely go see it. This next movie is The Legend of Tarzan, which when I think of that, I think of The Jungle Book, because they're very similar in how they had animated films and then now they're like with real people. And oh my goodness, guys, the man who played Tarzan is literally to die for. He is so gorgeous, and he's like the perfect Tarzan, and I absolutely love him. Everyone pretty much knows the Legend of Tarzan and the whole story behind him. He grew up with gorillas and apes and like monkeys, all those type of things, and it was just so incredible and seriously very action-packed. It got really intense, and I love this. And Margot Robbie is in it, and she is amazing. I am obsessed with her too. I'm obsessed with a lot of people, if you can't tell, but Margot Robbie is absolutely stunning. And the last animated movie on this list is Kung Fu Panda 3. Now, I love the Kung Fu Panda movies. I have this weird obsession with them. I just love them so much, and this one I feel like was the funniest out of the three. It was so comical, and we got to see all sorts of different kinds of pandas, which was so much fun. If you're into children's movies like I am, or animated movies, this is definitely one you need to watch, but watch the other two first. They're all so great. I love them all so much. And the last movie on this list might actually be like my favorite, and maybe that's because it was my most recently watched, so it's like fresh in my mind, but it's also one of those that I cannot stop thinking about, and that movie is Nerve. This movie was so good and so intense. Like, I got a Fitbit for Christmas, and the whole time I was watching my heart rate go up because it was just so action-packed and intense. And Emma Roberts and Dave Franco have this chemistry that is unbreakable and amazing. So if you don't know, the movie Nerve is about this game that goes on in different cities, and it's basically just a huge game of truth or dare without the truth. So basically you just put on all these dares, and if you complete it you get paid money, and it's this whole big competition, and it's just so good. I am so obsessed with V and Ian, which is like the main ship in the movie. So good. Definitely recommend. I like cannot stop thinking about it. Honestly, I just want to watch it every day for the rest of my life. So that is all for my list of favorite movies of 2016. Let me know down below what your favorite movie of the year was, and if you've watched any of these, I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. As always, my social media links will be down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!